Catherine need to be careful about the children building a relationship with George and Charlotte, because you know Harry and Meghan plan to use those two children as pawns in this return.
Oh, absolutely. You wouldn't trust them. Of course you wouldn't trust them. And anybody that expects Catherine and William, this push that we're seeing, I've been seeing it myself. It's the way it's all being written, that this is all down to Prince William. The king doesn't know what to do about the fallout between his two sons. I'm sorry, the last 6 years hasn't happened. The world hasn't turned against Harry and Meghan because Prince William and Harry had a little scuffle over their wives and Harry ended up in a dog bowl. But again, this is the media trying to spin it and to downplay it, and Sussex propaganda, downplaying everything that Harry and Meghan have done, all of the allegations, all of the lies, all of the terrible things that they inflicted on Queen Elizabeth in her final years, even when she was grieving the loss of her husband, Prince Philip. Everything that they have done, and they're now trying to whittle it down to, oh, it's a little fallout between brothers. Prince William's the big brother. He should be the bigger man. They should shake hands and hug. No, they shouldn't. They should keep all dog bowls well away from Harry. I don't think anybody would really criticize Prince William if he saw Harry and thumped him one in the face, to be honest with you.
The tension within the royal family has reached an almost heartbreaking intensity. Catherine, the Princess of Wales, stands firmly unmoved, her heart seemingly closed when it comes to forgiving Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. There's a delicate, almost fragile line she must now tread carefully, especially when it comes to the children, the future of the monarchy, George and Charlotte. Because behind the scenes, Harry and Meghan are said to be orchestrating a calculated plan. They want to draw those two young children into their unfolding narrative, almost like unwitting pieces on a chessboard, pawns in a game much bigger than anyone could have imagined. This is more than just family drama. It feels like a carefully designed strategic move in a high-stakes game for influence and legacy.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are making a shocking move back to the UK with their kids. The same kids in Meghan Markle who could never come back to the UK because it's so dangerous. Someone might throw toxic waste and poison on her. Oh, they're now moving back. Oh my God, I need comments. How mad are you UK viewers to hear this news? And how surprised are you? I gotta be honest, this is shocking to me. I did not see this coming. Now, it was clear they were suffering. It was clear there were problems. But to hear that they're now, not only are they coming, but this is clearly, it must have been planned far in advance. It is being said here that they will begin school there this fall, this September. That's quick. That's a couple weeks. You can't just start a school willy-nilly. This must have been in the plan for a while. So while he was pushing for that security, remember, he was also clearly knowing we're probably going to move back.
Meanwhile, the pressure on Catherine isn't easing. In fact, it's intensifying. Prince Harry is reported to be leaning heavily on the Princess of Wales, hoping she will intervene, step up, and attempt to mend the increasingly strained bond between Harry and his brother, Prince William. The plea for peace is like a desperate call, echoing through the palace halls. Yet Catherine must proceed with immense caution, acutely aware that any misstep could be deeply exploited. The innocence of those young royal children, George and Charlotte, hangs in the balance, as they could easily become symbols or leverage in this intricate royal chess match. Are we witnessing the beginning of a tragic family saga, where love and loyalty are tested beneath a cold royal spotlight? If you're captivated by stories of royal struggle and heartfelt drama, hit that subscribe button now. Every day, thousands of passionate royal enthusiasts join our community to stay at the forefront of these unfolding stories. Don't miss out on the raw, unfiltered truths as they emerge, revealing layers of complexity behind palace walls. In a move that shocked many,
that they are not going to forgive. They are not going to forgive. It's a really big stance. And then we have this too from Matt Wilkinson, who's the royal editor of The Sun. And again, you know I like to explain the background, Tash. The Sun also has a close relationship with William and Catherine. Its editor, Victoria Newton, has become close with Prince William over the past few years. So again, my belief is this is direct briefing from William and Catherine. And they say they plan to rise above it and not be distracted by the Sussex's sideshow. Their plan, Tash, is to keep calm and carry on amid fears that Harry and Meghan's return to the UK could make a mockery of royal roles. And oh my God, I'm so glad William and Catherine feel that, because that's exactly what I feel, by the way. I feel Harry and Meghan are just making a mockery of this whole thing. The Prince and Princess of Wales have arrived in Balmoral following the King's arrival there on Tuesday, just 2 days after Harry first told his father the news. While William and Kate were stunned at the news, bless them. I mean, imagine their shock. I mean, I was shocked enough. Imagine their shock.
The Sussex camp chose a moment of great solemnity when King Charles and senior royals were gathered at Balmoral to leak their elaborate return plan to major international media outlets. Their goal was clear. They aimed to trigger a wave of public opinion so powerful it would compel the monarchy to soften and yield to mounting pressure. It seemed like an audacious gamble, a carefully timed media explosion intended to shake the royal establishment to its core. But what they failed to anticipate was the iron will of Princess Catherine. Rather than crumble under the weight of relentless speculation and public scrutiny, she stood her ground, embodying a resilience that has so far resisted the storm. The drama is far from over. Those closest to the Wales family reveal that Catherine wasn't merely surprised, she was downright outraged. Imagine being in the midst of a private healing process, balancing delicate family dynamics, only to have a highly public, attention-seeking move thrust into your world without warning. The timing couldn't have been worse, turning a personal recovery into a headline-grabbing spectacle. This brazen and self-serving strategy from the Sussexes wasn't just ill-timed, it was a clear breach of trust and respect, an intrusion into sacred personal space that felt utterly unforgivable. This unexpected push for reconciliation by Harry and Meghan raises a pressing, almost uncomfortable question.
I think they're even broker than we originally thought or imagined. The fact that they're crawling back this fast, I think that last little trip where they snuck in with the kids, that was them laying the foundation. They were laying the groundwork. And I know we've all felt for months now, and really the last year or two, I think Meghan Markle, she dies inside when she sees how great Princess Catherine is doing, when she sees how great Prince William is doing, when she sees how they're embraced, and the Kardashians want nothing to do with her, Martha Stewart wants nothing to do with her, Oprah wants nothing to do with her, the Netflix money has run dry, that house is dilapidated allegedly, and so now they're going crawling back. Okay, and I think Harry and Meghan, I think they're going to try to push Archie and Lilibet onto George, Charlotte, and Louis. I think they want all the cousins to be friends. I think they want the kids to come up in the next generation, just like the Kardashians. You have Northwest and Mason and all the little ones coming up. I think Harry and Meghan, that is their plot. But this really just is interesting timing that they have the judgment. He's going to have to owe a lot of money. Their finances don't seem to be in great shape. And their persona non grata here in the United States, they just aren't that popular anymore. Harry and Meghan's stories don't move the needle. This is the biggest story we've had in years. But it goes to show you, Meghan Markle stands for nothing.
Why would they pursue such an aggressive reunion after years of publicly painting the picture that the British royal environment was so hostile, it endangered their well-being and happiness? The answer becomes painfully clear when you consider what's unraveling behind the scenes of their American chapter. The glamorous fairy tale of their new life in the States, paved with multi-million-dollar deals and jet-setting luxury, is showing serious cracks. Their once promising Hollywood prospects have hit a wall. Industry insiders have labeled their creative efforts as stale or uninspired. The lucrative streaming contracts that once seemed a sure thing have quietly fizzled out. Their position in American pop culture isn't just waning, it's devolved into an ongoing joke, stripping away much of the influence and admiration they once commanded. Faced with this harsh reality, they find themselves in a desperate situation. Maintaining their extravagant lifestyle and covering the costs of their extensive high-level security isn't cheap. More than money,
It's going to be a very, very bad few months, I would say, because Harry has no intentions of stopping his feud with his brother, as the headlines show. They want everybody to think that this would all be hunky-dory, everything would all be forgiven if Prince William just be the bigger man. And it's obviously just gaslighting.
It's total gaslighting.
what they truly crave is something far rarer and more valuable. Genuine direct connection to the royal family, a kind of relevance that no cash or contracts can replicate. Yet, Princess Catherine's unwavering refusal to engage effectively blocks their main route back to that essential royal closeness, cutting off their lifeline to the influence and respect they so deeply desire. She instinctively knows that even the smallest interaction, no matter how casually it might be framed as a simple family chat, instantly becomes fodder for the media machine carefully packaged, distorted, and weaponized to ignite the next storm of sensational headlines and viral stories. This reality cuts to the very heart of the ongoing turmoil tearing at the monarchy. Can this centuries-old institution survive when its legal head and its future heir see the crisis through utterly different emotional and strategic prisms? King Charles finds himself trapped in a heart-rending emotional tug-of-war. On one hand,
the children are going to be used. We're seeing Harry and Meghan use the children. They already use them to link up anything to do with Diana. We see the children being used for Meghan to even get traffic over to her as ever products, to flog her jam, to whatever it is that she's selling. You know, you're seeing the little girls' clothes sometimes come up when Meghan decided to, flog clothes. It's very obvious that Meghan sees the children as a commodity. And this is the very reason why they took the titles very quickly for the children. This is why they had already bought out the website names for those children before they'd even asked the Queen, can we take this name from you? Which obviously, there was a big brouhaha over all of that. There always is with them. Everything that Harry and Meghan do, every decision that they do is always sprung out of thin air. It's done for maximum impact and maximum damage.
he's the aging father, filled with an aching, almost desperate longing to reconnect with grandchildren he adores and misses deeply. But on the other, the younger generation, Prince William and Princess Catherine, approach the situation with a steely, calculated resolve. Their approach is cold and measured, driven by a clear-eyed sense of protecting the institution's legacy above all else. Charles's natural empathy and instinct to keep an opening for personal reconciliation have created a raw tension, leading many insiders and observers to wonder if the king might be unwittingly opening the door to manipulation once again. Meanwhile, William and Catherine have constructed what can only be described as an impregnable fortress around themselves and their priorities. Princess Catherine's posture is far from a momentary flash of anger or petty spite. Instead, it is a thoughtfully crafted and deliberate stance, designed for long-term resilience.
Finally, confirmation that Prince William and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, will never forgive Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, will not give in to this growing pressure coming on the heir to the throne that they should in some way go for a reconciliation just in order to appease what? The mainstream media? No. It must not happen.
And safeguarding what they hold most sacred. Catherine has witnessed firsthand the immense personal burden William carries, a heartfelt betrayal that cut deep, yet he never wavered or allowed himself to break under the strain. This careful, strategic unity between them signals a new era of royal protection, one where emotional pain is set aside in favor of unyielding strength and clarity of purpose. Imagine losing not just a brother, but your closest confidant, the person you once trusted with your deepest secrets, only to realize that trust was traded away to a commercial machine, a media industry eager to turn your family's private moments into a public spectacle for profit. This is the reality William faced when his relationship with Harry and Meghan fractured, and the story being spun by media outlets supporting the Sussex side paints a very particular picture. That William and Catherine are heartless, unforgiving, and stubborn, holding on to petty grudges instead of showing maturity. But let's stop and unpack this narrative a little more deeply, because true maturity isn't just about telling the world to forgive and forget. How do you genuinely forgive someone who hasn't once offered an authentic apology? How do you reach out with an olive branch to someone who acts as though the hurtful and highly personal claims they made didn't even happen? Pause for a moment to absorb just how twisted this expectation is. They expect the world to believe that Harry and Meghan's actions didn't leave any scars, that the emotional blows never landed. Yet the reality is much more complex. A rough undercurrent running beneath the surface.
Or they don't get the security, Tom? They don't get the security?
One of the main reasons that they don't have security is because they are not in the bracket of people who are protected. They are not in the cohort of people who are protected. And one of the factors that means they are not in that cohort is that they do not live in the United Kingdom. Now, if they live in the United Kingdom, they tick one of the boxes.
Do you remember on that last royal engagement in the United Kingdom when Meghan Markle said to that little weasel, Omid Scobie, who may have to relocate with his cosmetic surgeon back to this country too. Do you remember? She said to him, I am never coming back. Isn't it funny what a few failures will do?
Pretending to be calm. Then comes the rumor mill, whispering that the explosive Netflix docuseries was just a wild fantasy and the Oprah interview was nothing more than a casual, friendly conversation over tea. Harry stepped into this whirlwind, seemingly convinced that since he wrote the book, accepted the lucrative deals, and collected his earnings, everything was magically resolved. But here's the truth. You don't get to burn the bridge behind you as you walk away, and then expect that same bridge to be intact when you want to come back. The road that once connected them, the shared history, the bond of family can't simply be rebuilt without effort, honest communication, and accountability. This isn't just about headlines and private disputes. It's a profound and ongoing chapter of family dynamics intertwined with public drama, leaving many bewildered and watching closely as the next move unfolds. Imagine a world where every step you take is carefully measured, not just for your own well-being, but for the safety and emotional security of your children. That's exactly the reality Catherine faces every single day. Picture this. Even simple things like where to place the dog bowls become a tactical decision. They're kept well away from Prince Harry, not out of pettiness, but because the environment of misinformation and confusion is at an unprecedented intensity. The tension is palpable, a constant undercurrent that shapes every interaction. At the heart of Catherine's world is her unwavering duty as a mother. Her primary focus is the well-being and protection of Prince George.
The king is not in on this mess. And I do believe that the king was also blindsided whilst he was up in Balmoral spending time with his family. They are completely capable of plotting and planning something as bad as Megxit behind everybody's backs. I do believe that they didn't tell the king when they were at Highgrove. Now, other people have said, yes, but they've privately enrolled their children at schools. This takes months of planning. You're telling me that the king wouldn't know? Well, if Harry and Meghan, being the parents of those children, wish to hide it, they will hide it. Of course they will. And they do have contacts in the UK. They are capable of keeping stuff hidden if they choose to. But Harry and Meghan, as we know, do not like to keep anything hidden because they want maximum attention and maximum publicity at all times. But it's not just my theory, of course, that the king is not actually going against his eldest son and the future of the monarchy, because royal sources have also made it clear to various outlets that both the king and Prince William are completely united and in complete lockstep with regards to not allowing Harry and Meghan to achieve a half-in and half-out role within the monarchy.
Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis. She understands, better than most, how the media machine works its insatiable appetite to dissect, analyze, and sometimes distort even the smallest moments. Inviting Archie and Lilibet into their private family space isn't as simple as planning a casual afternoon in the garden. It carries enormous implications, sending waves through security and privacy that are impossible to ignore. The risk isn't hypothetical. There's a genuine and deep-seated concern that the children of the Wales family could unwittingly become tools in a carefully crafted narrative strategy. Every glance shared, every seemingly private conversation could be spun into a headline, leaked as subtle hints in memoirs, or packaged as behind-the-scenes content for future projects. The Sussexes have repeatedly shown that their view of family life often intertwines with their public persona and brand. This perspective on relationships transforms ordinary moments into potential media material. Catherine's protective instincts in response are not only completely understandable, they have earned widespread admiration from the public. People see her as a bright, caring mother who prioritizes her children's emotional well-being far above orchestrated photo ops or engineered reunions. Standing firmly beside Catherine in this commitment is Prince William. Together, they form a united front, a lockdown that isn't just about physical security, but about shielding their family from the unpredictable tides of public scrutiny. Senior royal correspondents watching closely understand the complexity and seriousness of this stance. For Catherine and William, this isn't just about controlling headlines. It's about creating a safe haven where their children can grow up loved, protected, and free from the pressures of the spotlight. Insiders have now confirmed that the messages coming straight from Kensington Palace are resolute and unmistakably clear. William and Catherine are determined to rise above the constant buzz of controversy. Their plan? To completely ignore the noise, sidestep every attempt to draw them in, and refuse to waste even a single moment of their attention on what they now see as the Sussex sideshow. This is more than just a passive stance, it's a deliberate, powerful choice to shut the door firmly on distraction. Yet, beneath this strong front, Catherine's unwavering refusal to let Meghan anywhere near her inner circle reveals a much deeper and more unsettling reality. It begs a critical question. What becomes of the Sussex brand when the future Queen of England openly and unambiguously signals that Meghan is entirely unwelcome? This public dismissal isn't just a family matter. It has sent shockwaves through Harry and Meghan's entire operation, thrusting their carefully built image into a state of turmoil. For years, their greatest asset, the key to their global appeal, was their portrayal as fresh, relatable royals who could bridge the gap between tradition and modernity. They presented themselves as the trailblazing, progressive faces of a new kind of monarchy. But the foundation of this whole narrative rested on one fragile, invisible connection that they still had a foot, however slight, firmly planted within the royal family. Now, with the future king and queen making it abundantly clear that this link is severed beyond repair, that illusion crumbles entirely. Without access to the palace, without official appearances alongside the monarch, and without the essential royal imagery that once fueled their mystique, their unique brand suddenly has nowhere to turn. This isn't just a setback, it's a fundamental crisis that challenges everything they have built around their royal identity. Imagine the deep divide between two royal households that couldn't be more pronounced or impactful on the future of the monarchy. On one side, there's Prince William and Princess Catherine, two people whose partnership and shared devotion to duty project an image of stability and heartfelt sincerity. Their marriage, far from perfect, has endured powerful storms, including the harrowing challenge of Catherine's cancer diagnosis. Yet throughout every trial and heart-wrenching moment, they have displayed quiet strength, leaning on one another with mutual respect and unwavering trust. They have made it clear that serving their country and safeguarding their children's privacy come before everything else, embodying the essence of dignity and steadfast public service. In stark contrast, the other side reveals a saga marked by continuous headlines, fueled by calculated media appearances and legal battles. Meanwhile, there's an ongoing and highly publicized fight over security expenses, with demands for millions in taxpayer support to cover private protection. Despite requesting public funds, they have guarded their children's identities fiercely, choosing to shield their faces from the cameras that are effectively funding their lifestyle. Throw in the refusal to acknowledge the ripple effects their actions have caused, and the lack of willingness to accept responsibility, all of which magnifies the growing tension between these two branches of the royal family. As William and Catherine quietly work behind the scenes to maintain the monarchy's reputation and stability, the contrast couldn't be more jarring, highlighting an increasingly fractured royal landscape. Look closely at the dynamics playing out here, and it's clear how these two very different paths continue to shape public perception in profound ways. Here's the cold, hard truth wrapped in numbers. Imagine wanting the entire British public to cover a staggering multi-million-pound bill just to keep your private security team in place, yet at the same time, acting like the nation itself is something poisonous to be avoided. You insist on all the perks that come with royalty: royal titles, royal privileges, exclusive protection, and access to the inner circle. But here's the kicker: you never actually step up to fulfill any of the real duties that come with being a member of the royal family. This isn't living a life of true royalty. It's more like signing up for an overly expensive membership, where you expect everyone else to foot the bill, while you sit comfortably miles away in Montecito, television on, loudly grousing about how the service isn't good enough. The reaction from the public? It has been swift, sharp, and unambiguous. Recent surveys make it clear close to 80% of Britons want nothing to do with a full return of the Sussexes to royal life. Instead, they stand firmly behind William and Catherine, who have drawn unequivocal boundaries with unwavering resolve. The people aren't oblivious. They know forgiveness within a family demands heartfelt apology and real change, not a steady stream of media stunts and quiet threats of legal action disguised as passive-aggressive behavior. Princess Catherine's steadfast refusal to enable such conduct any further isn't about being petty or vindictive. On the contrary, it's a powerful stand, a courageous effort to protect and honor the legacy of the late Queen, who embodied duty, dignity, and service above all else. What's even more revealing in this near-total public alignment with Catherine is the darker, more profound consequence looming for Harry and Meghan. If the British public decisively rejects them, and if the future of the monarchy chooses to leave them out completely, not just now, but permanently, then something fundamental crumbles beneath their story. The very foundation they assumed would support their royal status is suddenly shaken. And when that foundation disappears, we are left wondering, on what genuine grounds do they stand in the eyes of history, tradition, and the very country they once sought to represent? What makes the situation for Harry and Meghan so painfully intense is not just that their latest attempt to return to the UK has been firmly denied, it's the crushing realization that their long-term standing within the royal family may now be beyond repair. They took a colossal gamble, playing a high-stakes game where they counted on public opinion to force the crown's hand. Their hope was that the monarchy would buckle under mounting pressure, afraid of bad publicity and eager to avoid scandals. But instead of bending, they encountered an impenetrable fortress of royal discipline and unity, led decisively by Princess Catherine. Every move they make to claw their way back into the royal spotlight only emphasizes how isolated they've become. From sending legal threats to newspapers to demanding top-tier state security and even leaking carefully choreographed stories about private family meetings, every strategy seems to backfire spectacularly. Far from easing tensions, their actions have inadvertently closed ranks even tighter inside Buckingham Palace and Kensington Palace. King Charles, though perhaps quietly saddened as a father distanced from his son, knows the gravity of the moment for the future of the monarchy. The legacy he must protect now rests squarely on Prince William and Princess Catherine, whose image and stability have become the bedrock of royal continuity. The king is resolute. He will not sacrifice the institution's unity or alienate his heir, even to accommodate a son who has shown little allegiance to the family he once vowed to serve. In this unfolding family saga, the stakes have never been higher, and the lines have never clearer. If you're hungry for a raw, no-holds-barred exploration into the true forces shaping the royal family's inner circle, then don't wait another second. Smash that subscribe button right now. Join the vibrant community of thousands who come back to Royal Report day after day, hungry for the unvarnished truth behind the shiny headlines. Make sure you stay tuned and ready, because the next massive revelation is just around the corner, and you won't want to miss a single detail. Now, here's the latest bombshell. Princess Catherine has made her final, unmistakable stand. This isn't just a subtle gesture or a quiet step back. She's firmly drawn the lines, choosing unequivocally to protect her family above all else. Her commitment to defending her children and safeguarding the sanctity and dignity of the crown has never been clearer or stronger. Meghan Markle will not be welcomed back into the royal residence. She will be kept away from her nephews and nieces, cut off from the precious moments and milestones during these crucial years. The royal spotlight she so desperately sought to reclaim, it won't be coming her way. The gates to the monarchy are firmly closed, the boundaries now etched in stone, sending a crystal-clear message to audiences worldwide. What we're witnessing isn't just the closing chapter of the Sussex's royal story, it's the complete unraveling of a once-enchanted narrative, morphing into a powerful cautionary tale about pride, division, and the steep price of choosing exile. They made their decisions, walked away from the family and the tradition they've known their whole lives, and launched public attacks that only severed ties deeper. Now, left isolated, they face the harsh reality of being cut off from the legacy they once belonged to, and the cold, steady reality that comes with that distance. So, if you want to be among the first to hear about every twist and turn, every secret revealed, and every truth uncovered in this ongoing royal saga, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell. Share this video with others who crave the inside story, and drop your hottest thoughts about this royal drama in the comments below. Your voice matters, and together we can keep peeling back the curtain on this astonishing saga. Stay tuned, because the story is far from over.